So now that AJ is 6 months old, I'm super excited for him to start eating solid foods. So up until now, he's just been having breast milk, and I have been researching on the best way for us to introduce solids to him, and we decided that we were going to be doing baby-led weaning. Baby-led weaning is basically just a way to introduce solids to your child. A lot of people think it's just like a fad, but really it's been going on since the beginning of time because there weren't Gerber baby foods back in the Stone Ages, right? So people would just eat and they would give their babies what they're eating, and the babies need to figure it out. So they're super intelligent little humans, and they can figure out how to move food around in their mouth and chew even if they don't have teeth. And so I'm just super excited to try this with AJ because I know he's going to do a good job. He's really interested in food. He is 6 months old and he is sitting up unassisted, which are all the criteria for him to be starting baby-led weaning. So I've been reading this book, which I highly recommend, and I will link in the comments. And it's just been really informative, and I think it's just going to be, for our family, it's going to be the best way to introduce solids to AJ. He's going to be totally taking all control in his eating. We are going to be sharing meals with AJ, so anything that we are eating, he is going to be eating as well. So we'll sit down as a family with him, and if we're having pizza, he's gonna have pizza. We'll be placing food on his tray in appropriate sizes, and he gets to explore it, eat it. I've been reading that some of it's gonna end up on the floor all over the place, and that's okay. It's his way of exploring and eating food. So I'm really excited to try it and kind of take you guys along with me to see how AJ does eating solids. Okay, we're almost ready for AJ's very first meal. We are gonna have some breakfast. We're having waffles and eggs and yogurt. So here he is, all set in his high chair. Hi, AJ. Hi. So we're gonna get started and just we're all having waffles, eggs, scrambled eggs, and yogurt. And I'll take a picture of it on his tray, and then we will just have a meal as normal. We're excited. Okay, so I have 2 pieces of waffle for AJ. So you can see that they're just a little bit bigger than his fist, so that he'll be able to grab onto them. Also gonna give him some scrambled eggs. And then I have these 2 baby spoons for him. I'm gonna preload some yogurt on them for him to try. So you can see he's really excited. So then I'm just gonna set these on his tray. So. us, so we don't really trying to figure out if it's the end of mealtime or not. So it seems like it is because he was starting to play with his clip and stuff like that. So I think we're gonna clean him up, end this mealtime for now, but I'd say it was a success. And I'll be back to kind of do a little recap of what I noticed and some things I might try next time and stuff like that. So AJ, say bye. Woohoo! We did our first meal with AJ for baby-led weaning. He did a really good job, as it was expected, because he's been really interested in food for a very long time. He ended up throwing a lot of it on the floor. I think I was a little bit shocked at how much actually ended up like on his lap and on the floor, but it was a new experience for my husband and myself and AJ. But in the end, I feel like he was exploring the food. He put almost all the food in his mouth. I don't think he swallowed very much of it, but I read that that is normal. I do want to point out that AJ did breastfeed about 30 minutes before he shared the meal with us. Babies are still getting all of their nutrients from breast milk and or formula right now, so he had a full tummy before he ate, and that's important because we don't want the babies to get frustrated while they're eating and either associate the meal with being hungry or anything like that. So it should just be a time for him to explore food and really just practice for when he is going to be eating for real. So make sure that if you are going to be trying baby-led weaning, that your baby has eaten their milk formula before they share the meal. That way it can be enjoyable, and that way it can just be a time for them to be exploring the food and trying out new textures and flavors. As you might be able to tell, right when he put the scrambled eggs in his mouth, he did not like the texture of them at all, so he ended up spitting them out, but he just kept trying them, which is just a really cool feature of baby-led weaning. It's all him. He's in total control, and he wanted to keep trying them, even though the first time he thought this is kind of weird, but he kept going for it. My husband and I weren't totally sure what to do when all of the food ended up on the floor, so I did end up giving him more eggs when he didn't have any more, just so he could keep exploring it, and then we did put the waffle pieces back on his tray so he could keep trying them. It was just really cool. At the beginning, you can tell that he's watching both my husband and myself eat, and that's really important for babies. They just see that we're eating and they watch us chew, and that's how they learn how to chew. And he was really intent on watching us, and it was really cool to see him processing how to eat. Another really cool thing were those baby spoons. He did so well holding them. He was turning them around and eating the yogurt, and I am really happy with those spoons, so make sure you grab them. There's a link in the description for them. Since this was our first time doing this mealtime with AJ, we weren't really sure when he was done. We didn't want to end it too early, and we also didn't want him just sitting there thinking, you know, what's next, or getting upset or anxious. So once he started picking up his high chair straps and putting them in his mouth and playing with other things, we realized that it was time to end mealtime and to get him out of the high chair. He did really well. But overall, we're just super excited with how it turned out. I can't wait to see how well he starts eating more and more food. I can't wait to introduce him to all the different kinds of food, and I hope you will follow us on our journey.